Alright, so in this video, I just want to real briefly kind of set up how the English get here, right? We've talked about European exploration, but how do the English get here? So there's a handful of factors that influence the settlement of the English. So first is the exploration of other European countries. England starts thinking like, oh, like we're falling behind. So they start exploring, trying to see if they can find some of the gold and wealth that these other European countries have discovered in the New World. Um, and so they'll send to start exploring along the east coast of what's going to be the United States. They don't find gold, but they're hoping to. But in the meantime, they find lots of fish. They find lots of small game that's pretty much been overhunted over in England. And so the thought process is, well, we'll set up some forts here. We can hunt small game. We can find wealth in fish, and we'll hope like in time we'll find the gold. But in the meantime, this will tide us over. So that gets the English here. Again, that search for wealth and trying to, keep up with the rest of the world. And then a lot of the other factors happen over in England. So the first thing that happens over in England is Henry VIII. You might sound familiar to. He's the king with all the wives. I'm going to shorten the story here. He manages to secure a divorce from his first wife. But the way he does this is he establishes the Church of England, and he very conveniently makes himself the head of the Church of England. So what this allows for is all of the wealth of the Catholic Church. When the Church of England confiscates the wealth of the Catholic Church, because now England's going to be under the Church of England, a lot of that wealth goes into the Church of England. And remember, so convenient, Henry VIII is the head of the Church of England. So he has considerable amounts of additional wealth, and a lot of that wealth starts to be funneled into ships. And now, of course, those ships can go explore and hopefully find new wealth. And then another thing that's happening among the landed aristocracy, they're finding that they can make more money by having sheep graze and then use the wool to make money instead of having people farm their land for them. So it's what's called the enclosure movement. The enclosure movement, they began enclosing their lands so they can put sheep there, and then that pushes the people off the land, like the peasants and farmers that are living there. So they get pushed off the land, they move into like London, and then those larger cities start to become overcrowded. The bubonic plague had happened, a good 100 or so years earlier. I mean, there had been intermittently, it had been happening again, but like the real devastation of that plague for England had happened about 70 to 100 years earlier. And so that population's now reproducing itself, and then you also have the population coming from the rural areas into the cities, we can call them cities. And so this is exploding those urban spaces. Urban might be a little bit of a stretch, but those populated spaces are becoming more populated. And so where could we send these excess people? Well, how about we send them over to the New World? Hopefully they'll find gold. Now we have the ships to send them, England thinks, and then hopefully they'll find gold, but in the meantime they can make their fortune in the natural resources that's on the land. So that's going to get the English here. And then that first attempt at settlement is going to be the settlement of Roanoke. And we refer to this in history as the Lost Colony. And you've got a link in your module there that sort of looks at perhaps trying to sort through the remains to try to figure out what happened to this so-called lost colony. If you have any questions, you can leave those in the module. Take care.